What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be watching a game between Underdark and BLY. Down over here in the lower right-hand spawn location of Antigua Shipyard, we have got BLY as our orange Zerg player. And then in the upper left-hand position, our purple Protoss player is going to be Underdark. Now, I have gotten a lot of requests from people to try to fill some of the early game downtime with a little bit of information about the players involved in the game, and I think that whenever I can find that information, I'll be happy to do that for you guys. So let's start off with today's game. I was able to get some info on both these players. Both of them are playing on the European ladder. BLY currently is the 31st ranked Grand Master. This is for Season 5, the current StarCraft 2 season. He's got a total of 164 wins and 83 losses. Now, over for the Protoss player here, our purple Protoss player, Underdark, obviously as well on the European ladder. Currently the 39th ranked Grand Master with a total of 286 wins and 192 losses. So there you go, a little bit of information about both players. Try to give you a good idea as to where they stand respectively. Something to keep in mind too, especially with professional players, I'll try to find these stats for you guys and I'll try to give you this information at the start of the games. But a lot of the pro players don't play on the ladder consistently. A lot of them spend their time practicing with members of their team or just good friends who also play the game. And that's just the truth. A lot of the practice time doesn't actually specifically happen on the ladder. So, whatever the ranks happen to be, it may not be exactly indicative of the player's skill, since they'll spend a lot of their time not playing on the ladder itself. But anyways, just something to keep in mind. Even though I will be trying to give you these stats, it's not exactly indicative of the player's ability. Alright, right now we are going to be noticing the Forge Fast Expand coming out here for Underdark. And back over here for BLY, did decide to open up with some one-base play, going gas heavy early on. He will be able to afford that metabolic boost the second that spawning pool does finish. Overlord now fanning out over here. We got one spotting the front. This is going to allow him to see any harass that may be attempted when he tries to drop down that expansion. And that should actually be happening sometime very, very soon. Now we have Underdark back here at the center of the map. He'll be controlling that tower until some lings come into play. And here we go. Underdark has decided to go with the Nexus first before dropping that cannon. First cannon coming on through. Should be seeing that gateway placed right down here as well as soon as he gets those extra 150 resources. And we may be seeing the drone here. BLY actually tried to disrupt that. And yeah, it looks like he may be doing that very thing. He needs to be careful though. Doesn't want to stick around too much longer as that photon cannon's just about finished. And as you can see, he is heading on out of there right now. Now back over here, first 4 Zerglings are up for BLY, and ooh, look at this Roach Warren coming out. BLY will be incredibly aggressive this game, holding off on that expansion, going very early Roach Warren. He's going to be trying to apply some pressure here to that front wall and bust through it, and we'll have to see how Underdark is able to contend with that. Photon cannons will be some very strong defense, especially if he can get up a couple of more. But the only way that's going to happen is if he knows this is coming. So he's going to be relying on this secondary scouting that's coming on through. And it looks like he's going to get it off as these Zerglings completely walking past the center of the map, allowing the probe to move right up into the main. And he is going to get the scouting information. There's nothing that BLY can do to stop this. This is actually really bad. He really wanted to stop this scouting worker, but unfortunately unable to do so. Already he knows what's going on. Moves down, sees that there's no expansion. He is now fully aware of what's coming, so we should be seeing at least 1, if not 2 more cannons get placed down over here for Underdark to try to deal with this early pressure. So the Speedling research is finished right now. We've got the first few roaches out in play, 5 already, number 6 just about to pop, and here comes that push. There is the second cannon. Here comes a gateway, and we may be seeing 1 more cannon. I don't know if he's going to try to just stick with those 2 though. Let's see what he decides to do. I think yeah, there we go, getting a 3rd cannon, and that should really do it. I don't think he's going to need too much more than that. Next dip is going to be these sentries we're seeing Underdark come out with. That's because he is going to want to drop some force fields. He may even be coming out with 1 more photon cannon. He is really overstepping it here, but you know what? I think he wants to be 100% certain that he can stop this from actually busting through, because if he does, he will be in a tremendous position. Roaches slowly making their way across the map right now as he's prepared to try to move up. Overlord granting vision of the high ground. This actually is a great opportunity. Before that cannon finishes, he may be able to drop down this forge. It's going to be really close. Looks like the cannon is going to get up right before it drops, but it doesn't matter because it's already so low. See you later. You're going to drop it or you're going straight? Yeah, he's going straight for the cannon now. He wants to take care of that first, and he's going to get it. No problem. There you go, roaches. Then we'll snipe down that one cannon. See you later, Forge. And the Speelings, oh, trying to make their way on in. Force field gets laid down. Very nice job there by Underdark. That's precisely what he needed to do. But Bly's still at the front wall, still applying some pressure. He has curved back on the aggression a little bit, though, coming out with that hatchery. He's getting ready to work his way into the next stage of the game. But with this early roach build, he really needs to keep doing damage to try to compensate for the economic loss that he takes in going for these very early roaches. It's not looking too good, though, as the cannons are tearing through the roaches. We got 2 roaches now preparing to move towards that natural expansion, trying to do some damage. Sentry's going to help with that defense. And Speedlings make it on in. This is not good right now. Bly able to get in with these Speedlings, and Underdark now is in serious trouble as he can make his way up in the main and do a lot of damage, just walking right by those photon cannons. There he goes. Nice force field wall, though, preventing that from doing too much damage. Only 1 Ling now in the main, trying to do a bit of harass. This has turned out to be a little effective here, though, for Bly, as he's managing to do a fair amount of damage. Take a look at those resources lost. Look at all those Lings in the main now. Going to be able to tear through those workers. There's practically no mining going on right now for Underdark. Underdark now pulling forward with that Stalker, finally able to deal with those roaches. The Speedlings have already done the damage. 20 workers killed so far. Underdark now just back to mining, but he's still dealing with more Speedling pressure. And Underdark is having a terrible, terrible time contending with this aggression. He's now finally have enough to stop it from doing any more damage, but man, oh man, did he take some hefty losses. Behind in resources lost. In addition to that, Underdark has also lost 23 probes so far this game. And look at all these resources spent on this front wall. Now, he's not going to get busted again anytime soon, but man, oh man, Bly, that paid off for him, that's for certain. He is preparing for the possibility of a small counterattack, probably out of 2 or 3 gateways. Actually, let's see what's in play. We got just two gateways there. And Warp Gate research is finished, although he hasn't gotten out any Warp Gates yet. I think he's just mentally still recovering. Like to see those Warp Gates come through, though. That'd be nice, huh? Back over here, Bly, with a couple Spine Crawlers, 2 more Extractors coming on through. He has that layer in play already, and now coming out for that transition into Spire Tech. That's going to lay down right over here. I think Bly's going to be all set, though. Now finally coming out with the Warp Gates, but there's only 2 of those in play. Underdark just working to recover from that loss of 23 workers. Let's take a look right now. He's got a total of 22 probes as opposed to the 44 drones over here for Bly. And we'll take a look at Bly's economy, and he is looking pretty solid. Sitting pretty right now, Bly. That early aggression really did pay off for him, I'd have to say. So kudos go out to him. 2 Lings moving across the map right now. We'll be grabbing that Zelnaga tower. Here comes a small little push for Underdark. If nothing else, we'll just be taking control of the center of the map. We'd also have Bly moving into a 3rd base. Creep spread will be delaying this expansion as Underdark attempts to go into a 3rd. He's going to have to wait for all this creep to recede. Or is he just pushing back? It looks like he might have just been taking that Overlord kill, and that's about it. Heading back to that ramp into the natural expansion. Level 1 weapons upgrade coming on through, trying to continue along the course here. Let's keep an eye on what he's going to decide to do. Either should be Gateway Heavy or we should be seeing a Robo. I'm assuming he's going to go Gateway Heavy. I think he's going to force to anyways, because we do have some mutas coming through, and once those are in, he is going to need that anti-air to deal with it. He is coming out with a Twilight Council actually, so I think that transition is going to be into Blink Stalkers, but man, is he really far behind so far in this game. Couple Lings working down the rocks. That's going to allow Bly to push into the 3rd whenever Underdark does eventually drop it. Again, we do have that Twilight Council coming on through. Blink Stalkers is what I expect right now. Hatchery almost finished at the 3rd over there for Bly. We also have that Macro Hatch level 1 flyer tag upgrades coming out. Muta's now moving out across the map. At the moment, he is sitting on 6 Mutalisk, not a ton, but enough to be able to start some harass and force some of the units of Underdark to stay inside of his main and natural expansion just to deal with this. Going straight for the workers, tallying up that worker kill count. Now at 28, and that number keeps climbing and climbing. However, those sentries and stalkers enough to force us back, as the mutal numbers are just a bit too small to deal with that at the moment, especially with that Guardian Shield drastically cutting back on that glaive damage. So there you go, Bly now forced out. Got 1 more muta coming through. He's also working up those upgrades as he's got the level 1 melee attack plus the flyer attack, as I mentioned earlier. Working on that creep spread. Man, it's looking very dominant so far this game for Bly. I'm really having a hard time imagining Underdark really coming back from this. He's not even in the position to push out right now, especially with those mutas in play. He's going to be pretty contained for a little while. 4 more mutas coming out. We are now at the number 9. Actually, 6 more meters coming out, so he's going to try to work up that death cloud, and what that's going to do, it's going to allow him to move in and quickly snipe out like pylons and tech buildings and all sorts of things, and that's going to continuously force Underdark to stay home just to deal with this threat, unless he can work up a strong enough force to push out and force those meters out of his base himself. It's going to be tough, though, and I don't know that he's there yet. Blink Stalker's almost finished. I will let him deal with those Mutalisks quite a bit easier. We have a 4th base coming out over here for BLY. The numbers keep climbing. 5 more mutas in production, also droning up a bit, preparing to saturate this 3rd base, and also probably getting ready to work some drones over to the 4th base over here. Muta numbers now at 15 with 5 more about to pop, and again, we're getting very near it. He's pretty much there right now. The ability to move in and quickly snipe a pylon with 1 or 2 glaive rounds, and then that's it. He can just move out and damage is done. And let's see, he's going for that and actually killing off some workers. Blink Stalkers, though, showing his hand. Underdark now revealing that he does have Blink Stalkers in play. BLY fully aware of this. He's continued to try to dance back and forth. He's going to go for some more workers, kill off that pylon, and then probably head out of there. Let's see what he does, actually focusing on those Stalkers, trying to thin up the numbers. And there you have it. More mutas join the fray. He's ready to go in. Still no aggressive posture coming at all from Underdark, as he is just so focused on trying to continue to defend his main. Stalker numbers growing smaller. That Muta Death Cloud working through these Stalkers. Oh no, especially now that he's got those upgrades to level 1 flyer attack. He's able to snipe them a bit quicker, and Underdark doesn't even leave his base and is forced to call the GG. The forward fast expand of Underdark was met by a quick Oroch Speedling push from BLY. And once BLY was able to sneak Speedlings into the natural expansion and main and able to do significant economic damage, it really put him a bit too far ahead, and Underdark, unfortunately, from that point forward was in no position to continue the game. Although he did stick it out, he was really inevitable, his loss, and then followed up with some Muta harass and made for a pretty easy victory for BLY. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I want to thank you and appreciate your views and support here on the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you enjoy the content. It helps me out tremendously. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.